All right, everyone, hello. Welcome back to the 20th anniversary Monster Hunter Countdown. Up next, 165 Glacial Agnaktor. I love the Agnaktors. I think, upon reviewing the footage, I think I do like normal Agnaktor more, but Glacial Agnaktor is still pretty good. No real complaints there. Here he is in Monster Hunter 3 Ultimate. Armor set, pretty good for Lance. You'll see soon, fire works really well against him as well. Good looking set. I mean, I know it's going to be like broken record, constantly having to hear me say it over and over again, but 3U is among the best designs I think I've ever seen. Really good. Fortunately, it doesn't color too great, but what are you going to do? Still not bad. I like the wing design. I mean, the helmet too, obviously. Helmet really stands up. The wing design is pretty great. It's going to come with some guard on it. Guard up. It's not easy to deco things in this game. Has Mind's Eye. I'll put Elemental Attack up. I don't think I was able to fit anything really else in there. But Elemental Attack up will work pretty well with the Dire Moralis Lance. Hit zone wise, you can see really weak to fire. Thank God we got like a monster that makes sense again. Not too weak to raw. I guess on his chest, it's pretty much his best hit zone. Blast goes crazy as usual. I don't know. I mean, 3U again had a famously very rushed development cycle, so it is not shocking to see a lot of situations where it's like, well, across the board, Blast is just eating Poison's lunch. We have done testing before. I have done testing not so much on normal monsters. Normal monsters, it doesn't really matter. In cases with them, like, you know, this quest, Slime is probably better than Element. But on really extended quests, not Super Bracky, obviously, but like Stygian, Super Ivory, Element does end up being better. Haven't really tested it in Hollow Gen Moran. He's not so much a super monster, but he has a high enough health pool that stuff like that might matter. You'd probably want to do a mix. You'd want to have at least like a slime guy. But having everyone else on Element, I think, would probably be better. Or, of course, just raw. I mean, it depends on your weapon. Lance here is fine with Element. I think we mentioned it in an earlier 3U video. There's a persistent rumor that Sword and Shield and Dual Blades get like a negative modifier to Element. Even then, it's like still worth running. It's just like a one of the weird cycles. I think the design philosophy in general is, even in the earlier games where it was, you know, considerably harder to consistently hit weak spot, they wanted to make sure that it wasn't too easy. Like, they don't want you sitting like at the tail necessarily for every monster, hitting it and killing them. Case being, you know, Gypceros, where you actually do want to hit the tail. You know, they want you to be focusing on that. And Element, if it were too strong, would mean that you could be hitting, you know, considerably, I don't know, more resistant armor parts, but still doing good damage. At least relative to the percentage of raw versus Element for a lot of monsters. Funny, though, that, you know, even going back all the way to Dose, when Gunlance was probably not nearly as strong as it should have been with its true damage, even by the time we got 3U, they still had like things like Slime coming out. In any case, Glacial Agnaktor, I think part of the reason why I don't find him as fun is he doesn't really do the pop out of the ground and shoot laser things at you that much. He does that interesting, like, wide sweeping beam. But other than that, it seems like he spends a lot of his time just like charging at you or wiggling at you and doing things like that. It's just not that interesting or that challenging. At least if you've got guard up or if you're Bulbul enough. Fire damage works really well on him. I didn't even mention it. I was on some other tangent. He'll like flinch and wiggle when you hit him with fire damage. That's pretty good. And that's it already. We're already done with him. Oops, sorry. Glacial Agnaktor Cortex, the rigid cortex of a Glacial Agnaktor. The icy casing's low temperature makes it stronger. Drenched Pleura, a beautiful Glacial Agnaktor Pleura. Its supercharged fluid is even colder than normal. Glacial Agnaktor Talon, a powerful talon that can rend frozen earth. So cold, wounds from it freeze over instantly. That's a badass description, man. Imagine getting hit, and you're like, oh, it hurts, and you look down, it's just like frozen shut. Like, what the hell? That's it for Glacial Agnaktor, number 165. Thank you. I look forward to your normal Agnaktor in the future. Up next, back to World, Viper Tobigadachi. Thank you all so much for watching. I love you. Goodbye.